Hello guys, this is Galaxy Saint here. Just kind of giving you an update of what I have been up to in the last few months. As you can see here, excuse me, this is the latest model that I have completed. It's a little Tamiya 1/35th scale Sturmgeschutz 4. And give you a little walk around here of the model. And I pretty much built this model straight out of the box. The only thing I added was the antenna, which is just a short section of guitar string that I super glued in place there. And just give you another complete walk around here. And there you have it. I didn't go too far into super detailing, and like I said, I just built it straight out of the box. This was a very enjoyable build. If I didn't have too much other stuff going on, I would have had this thing done within a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks or so, but I ended up taking about close to 2.5 months to put this whole thing together. Like I said, it was a very straightforward build, very easy. Didn't require a whole lot of filler or anything else like that. I do think that there was a lot of wheels to paint on this thing. As you can see, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So about 32 road wheels altogether. Plus you got the return rollers. If I took the side skirts off, you'll see the return rollers. And then of course you got the drive sprocket and the idler wheel. I did plan on putting the crew figure, but I have not got around to finishing painting him. So, and this is it right now as you see it. Just looks like it's got just the gunner's hatch or the loader's hatch open, and then I closed the commander's hatch, but I did have the little periscope popping through the little mini hatch in there. And of course you can see all the, I'm sorry about the shadow. And of course there's some of the Pioneer tools as you see them, just the standard stuff, and then you got extra set of road wheels over there. I try to do some weathering techniques, but I'm sorry I'm not the expert at such things, but I did try after watching a few other model builders on YouTube and watching a few of their tutorials. And so like I said, I did the best I could. I tried to put a little rust there on those little skirt brackets. And like I said, the only thing I added that was not part of the kit was right here, the antenna. I tried to replicate the rust as much as possible, especially with the spare tracks and of course with the muffler back there. I used a mixture or a variety of different types of paints, whether it was Tamiya paints, Model Master Acro line, and also some Model Air from Vallejo. And it was my first time using Model Air paints, and I was quite impressed with how straightforward it is. You just throw it into your airbrush and away you go, and no mixing or anything, just use it as is. Very excellent work. Didn't have to thin it out or anything. And as far as difficulties with this model, not really a whole lot of difficulty. I mean, it was just, like I said, it was a straightforward build. It for a kit as old as it is, I mean, I looked at the date on this thing, it was like in the 70s. Even the engineering that the Japanese did was pretty much superb at the time, and they only got better as time went on. And this right now is so far is my second Tamiya kit I ever built. I know I'm there's a lot of you model builders out there that have built a lot more than I have, but I'm kind of like one of those guys who never really got into armor until the last few years. So, but I will say this is like my third armor build altogether. I did build, if you saw my previous videos, I did build my very first one, which is the Italeri Panther D. And for my first build of an armor piece, that was quite an experience. And I didn't know what to expect. I was just encouraged by guys in my model club to go ahead and give it a shot, so I did it. And I did all the airbrushing just kind of freehand. I didn't really put any tape or blue tack or anything like that to show demarcation of the tritone camouflage. I just freehanded it, just like I did on this one here. One of the YouTubers goes by the name of Panzermeister 36. Nice young fellow from up there north of the border in Canada. He is a very excellent model builder, I must say. He did put together quite a few armor projects, and learned a few things from him about as far as weathering and kind of like toning down the camouflage. He says he was using these oil paints, oil pastels, and so I used his little technique to kind of tone down the camouflage here, and yeah, it turned out just nice. And using that little technique of putting just a little dab of certain colored paints onto a piece of cardboard so it'll absorb all the linseed oil worked out just great. And then just kind of dry brush the stuff on, kind of do a mixture or dot filtering, I guess. It turned out just excellent. So thank you, Panzermeister. You were such a great help on giving that little tutorial there. Give you a little frontal shot here of the glasses plate and the other spare track. Now, I'm no expert at German armored units during World War II. I just kind of like used to use the decals that came with it, and as far as the hull number, I just picked a number and that one just looked good and I just used that. So there again, I don't know if this was an actual vehicle. Like I said, I was just kind of freehanding things and just kind of slapping it together. I mean, I'm not a historical accuracy buff when it comes to this model building stuff, unless it was the model actually came with decals of a particular, I guess a particular person's tank during World War II. That's what I'm trying to say. Such as Michael Whitman or Otto Carius, those kind of persons. I really don't know what their tanks look like. Again, a lot of your photographs you're going to get is black and white, so that's kind of left to a lot of interpretation. Not unless there were any records that existed as to each person and what their tanks actually look like and what kind of colors of paint that they used. But then again, like I said, I am no expert. I just kind of put this thing together because I just thought it would be nice to do another armor build. So there you go, guys. I hope you like it. And if you guys have any suggestions on tips or techniques, I am all ears on that stuff. Like I said, I do watch the other fellow model builders, such as Panzermeister, and I'm sure there's several others out there that I've watched your videos on. But I did watch quite a few of Panzermeisters at the time I was building this particular tank right here. And again, I do apologize for the shadow that I'm creating as I'm filming this thing. It's just that the room that I'm filming it in is just casting the shadow. Maybe I'll get down like this on a side profile here. go. Okay, fellas, well, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this little quick video of the latest model that I was working on. Little quick note, I should let you guys know that I was also a D&D gamer way back in the day, and I took a 30-year hiatus, and of course here I am. I'm trying to get back into it, and I started getting these little figures here, and this is like the first one I've done in my God, years. Let me see if I can get it to focus in on her. Now, as far as figure painting, I am not an expert on such things. I just kind of dabbled here and there. Again, I do watch YouTube videos on guys who do like this figure painting stuff, such as Dr. Faust and his painting clinic. When I started getting back into doing these little figures like this, he was the first guy I went to get some tutorials done. And this is an old, no, I wouldn't say old, but I guess it's been around for a while. This is a Reaper Mini. It's a little pewter figure. She's not done yet. As you can see, I just got her painted. I haven't done any washes. I haven't even painted the base yet. So I'm just kind of working with her and using, again, a variety of paints. Whether it's Model Master Acryl, a little bit of Tamiya acrylic paint, and I've also used some like the Apple Barrel and Folk Art little acrylic paints, using mixtures of them as well. And I did pick up some Vallejo paints, like the game color stuff, and I used a little bit of Model Master enamel paints as well. And like I said, she's not done yet. I'm just still working on getting a few other things done on her, some washes. I'm not really good at the blending of the paints and the highlights and all that stuff. Like I said, I consider myself a novice at this kind of stuff. But if I'm just going to paint just to go use it in the gaming, I guess all that fancy stuff is not really necessary as long as you just paint the figure. And I'm good with that too. But the more practice I do on this kind of stuff, probably the better I will get. Also, back in the day of the D&D stuff, I was also playing Warhammer and Warhammer Fantasy, and I was working on these little guys here. Dark Elf Regiment. And I hear right now that Games Workshop they kind of revamped their entire Warhammer Fantasy stuff, I guess. I'm not sure. They went to this one called Age of Sigmar. But I don't know if I want to get into that, especially if I'm going to invest any kind of money into that set. It's like well over $100, and I'm like, ouch, in the pocketbook. So I still got these guys, so if I want to play some of the older editions of Warhammer Fantasy, then I'll just use these guys right here. I already got them, so I already paid for them. Might as well go ahead and just finish them up and use them. So there's that. And as you can see, my workbench is quite messy. Got all sorts of stuff going on here. I do need to clean this place up. But the end result is, I like to work on my model projects. And if you saw my previous video, I was working on a P61 Black Widow from Revell. I have put that thing away because it has just frustrated me to no end. It's got so many gap issues, and I guess that kit really shows its 40+ year age. So it was probably great back in the day, but not so great now. But I know it for economic reasons. It's for an economic standpoint, it is a good 1/48 scale rendition of the Black Widow. But if you got the money and you want to get a better looking kit, a better fitting kit, better well engineered kit, the Great Wall kit is your better bet. But I'm sorry, the old Revell and slash monogram kit has shown its age. I mean, I'm trying to do the best I can to get that thing to look at least decent enough. But like I said, it just shows its age, and I wouldn't exactly say it's one of those kits you would use to go enter a model contest with. But if you're just going to build just to build, then it's okay. So that's the story on the P61 that I was working on, and I just put that away for the time being until at such time I feel like I want to go back and tackle it again. I do have other model projects that I can pick and choose from, and there's quite a few of them right there that I can pick and choose from. Plus I got more in the closet. Or I can just continue working on these little D&D miniatures. Alright fellas, I'm sorry I'm rambling on, but I just like to update you as to what I was up to and what I'm doing. So, like I said, feel free to let me know any tips or techniques as far as model building, miniature painting, whatever, anything related to this hobby. Alright fellas, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.